I'd like to welcome and introduce Ali Lockwood, who's going to be talking about transition in early years, infants and juniors, and the really exciting and creative projects and work that she's doing. Ali is head teacher at Alva Valley Nursery Infant and Junior School in Gosport in Hampshire. So over to you, Ali, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. In a moment, our first slide is going to pop up. While that's coming, yeah, as Lorraine said, I'm Ali Lockwood. I'm head of schools at Alva Valley Schools in Gosport. And really, the title of my presentation is Lockdown Transforming Transition Practices for Children Starting School, because that's exactly what it did. It transformed those practices for us. So every year, as you'll all know, as you all work in education, in spring and summer terms, schools, nursery, colleges, we're all really busy with transition activities as we begin to welcome new children and families into our communities. And whether this is transition into school or between year groups or schools, that's the big job. So today, I haven't got time to talk about everything that we've done, but I'm going to outline the approach we took at Alva Valley Schools to welcome our children starting school in Year R during a pandemic, to ensure that we still had a really robust transition in place. Although I'm going to focus on Year R, we used elements of the approach in other year groups too. And although this was a creative approach because of the situation we found ourselves in, many elements are going to remain part of our usual practice moving forward. So I'm going to really talk about the what, the why, the how of what we did, and also the impact of that. So, and I'll also signpost you where you can find out more information, because today I can only give you a broad outline, but there's lots more information to be found on our website about our approach and what we've been up to. So I'll signpost you that towards the end. So if I can have the next slide, please. So really our job in hand was to rethink transition. And our rationale was simply that we didn't want the children that were starting school for the first time to be disadvantaged and miss out on all of those lovely opportunities that we would usually provide them, so that they felt really prepared to join school and join our school in particular, just because there was a pandemic on. So at our first planning meeting, which actually happened pretty soon after lockdown, this time last year, we spent some time, first of all, evaluating, well, what is it that we already do and why do we do it? What is the impact of those things? What is the purpose? What is the impact? So we spent time thinking about all of those different elements, the meetings with parents, the visits into school, the various aspects of that, and our picnics and all of those things. Next slide, please. So we identified the following aspirations based on that thinking. And it was as simple as this, really. Those words were the headlines of what we wanted to do. We wanted new families to feel a warm welcome to Alva Valley Schools. We wanted to give families an opportunity to visualise, to see the school environment, and to get a glimpse of what life was like at Alva Valley Schools, and particularly in Year R. We wanted some level of two-way communication, not just us giving information, but that's the great thing about live transition, isn't it? You can gather information about families and children. So we wanted to be able to have that two-way communication point. We wanted families to have the opportunity, especially in a time of high anxiety with pandemic, to be able to communicate their concerns and worries and to ask those questions, and also their excitement, you know, and all of that kind of thing, just as they would do in a face-to-face induction. We wanted families to start to become familiar with the staff. You know, the building of relationships and transition is one of our key aims that we're trying to do. So we wanted staff to be able to build relationships with families, which we knew was going to be challenging on an online or virtual kind of format, but that was our aim, that was our goal. And we also wanted children to start to feel familiar with the reception environment. But most of all, we wanted families and children to feel that sense of belonging to the Alva Valley Schools community. We very much see ourselves as a community, and we wanted to promote connection and therefore well-being and reducing anxieties. Next slide, please. So first steps was all about communication channels. Communication is key. So one of our first steps was to establish a web page on our school website, which was just for new entrants parents, really. And that meant that we could put all the information that we would usually give in one place. So it was easy to find. They could log onto the website, go to the new entrance tab under the parents and find all the information they needed. And on there, we started to put content on straight away, photos of the environment, videos, booklets, online sessions, online meetings, all went to that one central place so it could be easy to find. We also decided to set up a specific early years email account so that parents could communicate directly with the early years team. And the idea was that we could quickly reassure, answer questions and address concerns. And then later on, we could use that as a channel for parents to share their engagement with the transition process, which I'll explain a bit about in a moment. So very quickly, we decided that the usual induction meeting that I'm sure lots of settings run for families joining the school, which is a very much an information giving session, we decided to film that. We didn't have lots of technical equipment. We had an iPhone, we had an iPad with iMovie, and that's all we had. But that was actually enough. And as we started to script that out and plan out that meeting and all the content we would want to share, we really soon realized that process had lots of real benefits. So although there's obviously negatives, such as not having the opportunity to meet families in person and to answer questions in a face-to-face meeting, there's actually loads of positives with filmed content. So for example, usually we would run that meeting in the school hall, but actually because we were filming, we said, well, we don't want to film there. That's, not a very pleasant place to film everything. So we went into the early years environment. We filmed in the outside environment, we filmed in the inside environment. So we did a much better job of starting to show parents and children what the school looked like. It also meant that we could cut out the waffle. Can't do that today, I'm sorry, but it meant we could cut out the waffle, and if we were repeating ourselves or fluffed something up, we could just trim it, we could edit it out, and we could make sure that the message had real clarity and was concise, but it was shorter than our usual meeting because of that cutting out. So the other real benefit was that parents could watch and re-watch if they wished and when they chose to do so. So no more worrying about childcare or running late or rescheduling commitments to attend a meeting at a specific time. No more worries about being ill. We could just put the meeting on the website, on our YouTube channel, and parents could watch as and when they wished to. And actually, for parents applying for places this year, a lot of them have gone and researched some of those things, and that's given them the insight into school that they needed to make a decision about a school. So lots of positives there. Next slide, please. So after the success of filming that parents' meeting, we quickly realized the power of this approach, and we decided that we were going to use the same format of video but for children, to communicate directly with children. So usually we would do a songs and rhymes session. It was very clear that it was going to be difficult to do that in person and live with children in school and manage our risk assessments. So we decided to go ahead and present it in this online format. But rather than simply recreate what we would usually do in the hall, we built on that idea of we can do this differently. And we decided that with this approach this time, we would try and take children and parents along with them on a learning journey of discovery about our school. So we created a brand new songs and rhymes transition project, which would do that, which would go on a learning journey and mirror how we might explore learning in our school. So we wanted to speak directly to the children, and we wanted them to join in with us. We wanted to share the school environment, routines, introduce adults, and also have some fun and creativity along the way. So we scripted, we rewrote our sessions, we named them the Alva Valley Adventurers, with the children and ourselves being the Alva Valley Adventurers. That's who we were, and we would journey together to find out about school. So again, that aim was to increase that sense of belonging. Each session had a different theme. So it started with introduction and belonging, numbers, listening carefully and exploring sounds, rhyme and tuning into sounds, do disco. Each session started with a familiar pattern. In our school, timetables and routines are really, really important for our children. So we built those into our sessions. So we started with a welcome song, which we always sang, and then there was a hook into the learning, which could have been a monkey sound and a trail of bananas that we followed, or, you know, whatever the hook was. And then we took the children on a learning journey along with us. The approach really mirrors our approach to curriculum design at our school. We use a hooks into books approach with the children, where we do something exciting, dramatic, creative, which we have to discover and find out about with the children. And that really frames our learning journey. And if you're interested in that, you can have a look at our school website, Alva Valley Schools. In the spotlight section, there's a hooks into books article all about that. So in the sessions, we had songs, crafts, activities, rhymes, and we explored the school as we went. Next slide, please. So we wanted children to really feel part of the sessions, as I mentioned, and that theme of belonging was really key for us. So sitting alongside the session, we created some take-home packs, which you can hopefully see on your screen with the green bags. And in those packs, we put a week-by-week bag of all the equipment and resources, even glue sticks and scissors, everything they would need to join in with the sessions at home. And that meant that week by week, the children were active participants in the learning journey, rather than a spectator sport or an audience watching a TV program. They were actually joining in, and as they would do had they have come into school. We encouraged our families to send us emails or photos or videos of the children joining in, or what they enjoyed about it, or how they were feeling about joining school. And lots of the parents gave us permission to share photos on our social media and other platforms, which we did because actually we felt that started to build connection again, as other children could see that there were other children in the same position as them joining in and finding out about school. We also filmed a one more sleep video, a silly one more sleep video the night before each session went live, because they went live once a week. And that was just to hook people in to wanting to tune into the session and join in. And we shared those on our school social media, and the whole school community really had a lot of fun with those and enjoyed those too. So that was great, because then the whole school community are looking to welcome our newest members of school. So the impact of all of that was, it really blew us away. It was incredible. The levels of participation and feedback were unanimously positive and high. We shared the sessions with our feeder nurseries and preschools. And so they were able to share the sessions with the children in those families that might not necessarily join in at home. So that was another avenue of making sure that all children felt as prepared as possible. But it also gave those nurseries and preschools a view into school as well, which they found really helpful, looking at the environment and how that was set up and those sorts of things. So next slide, please. In September, transition doesn't just finish, does it, when you get to the end of the summer term? So a few other things that we did in September and beyond. We carried out doorstep visits. Obviously, home visits were out of the question with the risk assessment. So we did our our doorstep visits instead. We were chalking on many a pavement. Thankfully, the weather was good and it worked really well. We debated having socially distanced visits in our school grounds, but for us, there's something special about seeing children in their safe space. You know, just like at the Alva Valley Adventurers sessions, they could take part in their safe space. You know, doing those doorstep visits was really, really important for us. And we also repeated that process at the end of the most recent lockdown for our home learners. You can see a pirate picture on the screen there. You know, we just finished a remote learning unit, which was all around pirates. We've done lots of filming at the beach and various places because we were very lucky with where we live here. And we repeated those doorstep visits. It just took an afternoon to whiz round to the children and, hey, we're thinking of you. You're coming back to school on Monday. Can't wait to see you. And gave them some pirate gold for the amazing home learning they've been doing. And, you know, it meant such a lot to the families that we were holding them in mind. Some of them got quite emotional, just that we'd been thinking of them. So on the screen there, you can see some of the feedback that, that parents gave us on our transition. you know, and for us, it's that one at the bottom, that they felt welcome, that they felt secure and confident to come to school. You know, we had the best feedback that we've ever had, which we were really pleased about. So we made a couple of other adaptations in September. We staggered our entry to school. Normally it was everybody in from day one, but we put children into 2 groups, and we did a couple of weeks of part-time, which really helped us get to know the children, where we hadn't had all of those in-person opportunities ahead of starting. And we learned so many lessons as a team through doing this creative process, I guess. We learned so much about our strengths. We've become, as a whole team, as a whole early years team, we've become even clearer about the articulation of our visit and approach in early years and at Alva Valley schools, because we had to think about that and articulate that on our videos, I guess. We've become ever more creative as we were pushed to rethink about the what, the why, and the how of induction. We, on a practical basis, we learnt scripting, directing, filming, post-production, just to name a few skills, and we only broke 1 phone screen on the way, so not too bad. We decided that the lessons learned will continue to shape our transition moving forward. So from this year and onwards, as into the future, as far as we can see, we would always intend to offer a blended approach of in-person and online sessions, because the benefits of the songs and rhymes sessions being online, such as accessibility, the ability to rewatch. People were rewatching over the summer holidays in preparation for children coming to school, starting school. The ability for children to watch in their safe zone at home, rather than coming into a school hall, which again was where we would normally do that songs and rhymes project with lots of other children and families, that noisy, busy environment. You know, I think they got much more from the sessions than they would usually get in our usual songs and rhymes transition. So we would carry on with those. And of course, the benefits to working families, children with additional needs or additional anxieties, you know, are really easy and clear to see. So I've talked about the feedback from our parents that was really positive. You know, we were really concerned that children were going to miss out in many ways during an online transition, but actually in many ways the feedback indicates, and our feeling as a school is that transition was greatly improved, and that children settled so well. They didn't just know 1 or 2 names of the adults in school, they knew all of our names, and they felt it was almost a little bit of TV presenter kind of moments, where they felt like they knew us really, really well, and we were having to catch up and learn all about them. Last slide, please. So I promised some signposting, which I'm going to do now. You can find out much more about our induction and many aspects of our school on our school website, Alva Valley Schools. It's as simple as that. If you go to the Parents tab and then go down to New Entrants, you'll see some of the content that we put out for parents at the beginning of the transition period. The photos of the environment and all of those sorts of things are still on there. The other interesting port of call is the Spotlight on Alva Valley section, and there are some photos there of different articles that we've written as a school. We've taken this approach of when we've developed an aspect of practice, whether that's transition. You can see the the virtual induction tab there. We had to go at writing a book last year. We've introduced sensory circuits and lots of other things. If you're interested in any of those things, then do go and have a look at the Spotlight on Alva Valley section of the website and have a read. That's about it from me. There's going to be a video played, which is a edited version of our one of our sessions, just to give you a taste of what that looks like. It's about 5 minutes long. If there isn't time for it, then again, those sessions are online. You can have a look at them there. But if there is, then it's just going to show you a snippet of what it looks like in action. Okay. Lorraine, I think you're on mute.
No better than that, shouldn't I? Thank you very much, Ali. That's wonderful. I mean, some fantastic creative models of practice there, both in terms of structure and process. And I highly recommend the Spotlight section on the. I learned a huge amount from that. It really is fantastic. So thank you very much, Ali. And we'll go to the film. Thank you.
A warm welcome to Alva Valley Adventurers. We are so excited that you've joined us today. We're going to be doing lots of fun things as the Alva Valley Adventurers.
Hey, what's an adventurer?
Oh, what is that? Well, an adventurer is somebody that goes on journeys and adventures and they find things out and they explore. It's super fun.
Oh. I want to be an adventurer then.
Me too!
But what are we going to find out about?
I've got an idea. I wonder if the boys and girls at home would like to find out about Alva Valley schools.
What a great idea!
Okay, let's sing our hello song together.
Hello everyone, how are you? How are you? How are you?
Hello everyone, how are you? How are you today?
Shall we try clapping our hands this time, Mrs. Lockwood?
Absolutely.
Are you ready, Mr. Cook?
Born ready, let's go.
Hello everyone, clap your hands.
Would you like to come and have a sneak peek in Owl's class? Come on in. Let me take you over here. I think you're going to like it over here. This is our fantastic small world. I wonder what you could create over here. We've got a little fairy garden going on at the moment. Maybe you like jungle animals or dinosaurs. Whatever your imagination can create, this is the area for you. Do you like building blocks? Come and see this one. Goodness me! Have you ever seen such an array of building blocks?
This is one of our favourite areas in Year R. You can curl up with a book and a friend and tell a story. Watch out though, there's a gruffalo behind you.
It says road closed. Shall we go through? Come on, let's do it. I wonder who would like to be a builder and do some digging.
Hey guys,
Hey!
come over here. Look at this. We've got blocks to play with here. I've just built this car. And over here, we've got an area for small world, for animals and dinosaurs maybe. A big stage. You could perform on that stage.
Come have a look. Come here.
What?
Come
What
and
have you
check
got?
this out. Look. It's a wiggly worm. Quick, get him before he disappears.
Can you see him, boys and girls?
Oh.
It's a wiggly worm. Should we go on a bug hunt?
Let's do it.
Let's go. Go. Who can find the next bug? Go.
I'm going over here.
Okay, I'm going to look under here. They like hiding under things.
Oh, woodlouse.
I'm good at this. Woodlouse.
Centipede.
Centipede, look.
Oh, look, isn't he teeny
Oh, it's a
tiny?
spider in a web.
Oh, Mr. Cook loves
I
spiders.
love spiders.
They're his favourite, boys and girls.
There he is. He's only tiny.
I've spotted something a bit strange.
What is that?
Come on,
Ooh,
Mr. Cook,
something
let's go
strange.
check it out.
Oh, my
This way. Boys and girls, if you ever find a spider, show Mr. Cook.
He loves them.
They're okay.
What is it? Hang on a
Oh.
second.
Oh, there's a trail. Jungle animals in our outside area. What are they doing there?
How bizarre. But I tell you what, I know a jungle song. Do you want to go down in the jungle?
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do. Down in the jungle where nobody goes, there's a great big elephant washing his clothes with a rub-a-dub here and a rub-a-dub there. That's the way he washes his clothes.
Oh,
Hang on a second. I know where we can go and find out some more information on jungle animals. Shall we go to the library?
yes.
So now you've seen our school library. Every single week, you will get to go to the library and choose a book that you can take home and share with your adults at home. Now, it's nearly time to read the story, Rumble in the Jungle. But before we do, I think it would be rather brilliant if we could feel a bit more like jungle animals. So it's time to find your Alva Valley Adventurers pack.
Get out your pack 1 from your bag. Inside you'll have a choice. I'll get you with my tiger mask.
Did you make your headband? Which animal did you choose? Shall we read Rumble in the Jungle?
That's about it from us today. We really hope you enjoyed your first session of Alva Valley Adventurers. What was your favourite part? If you liked our Adventurers theme, then there are some other things that you might like to try out at home. There's one last thing that we always do at the end of a session. Have you found your bubbles? Are you ready to sing? Goodbye, goodbye, see you again.
It was such a shame the video was buffering all the way through there, but you know, go and have a look at our school YouTube channel or our website and you can see it in real time if you'd like to. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Ali. That was wonderful, and you're quite right about your talents as children's TV presenters. I'm sure that was really great. And as I say, it's worth looking at the spotlight on their website. There's so much fantastic detail and so many creative ideas there.